Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the realized model, or apparently some people call it the RMZ series, the RMZ Command Wolf Irvine Special Version. Now once again, I also grew up with Zoid, especially I really loved the original anime of Zoid. It meant a lot to me, and to see that we're getting, updated products from the series is just a huge blessing as of now. Alright, so once again, the Realized Model series, these are basically, the best way I can explain this is basically Gunpla style Zoid. So if you built in an HG Gunpla, then you should be able to build this. This is from Takara Tomy, and so Takara Tomy is now getting more into the model kit, market as well. Now the reason why a lot of people are making a big, huge deal about this, or maybe like people like me who are why we're really excited, is because, just to give you guys a quick history lesson, back in when Zoids did exist, and while before the whole great war between Zoids and Gunpla, Zoids were they were technically model kits, but they had a very different direction compared to Gunpla. Gunpla, where you could just build and then pose it and do whatever you want with it. Now Zoids, this is not the best example, but this is the more modern era of the old style Takara Tomy toy style Zoids. So you build it, and that's pretty much it. There's no articulation, there's nothing you can do. All you can do is basically just turn on a switch and then make it move. So these would be like, there would be a motor inside of it, and then you would turn on the switch and then they would move around here. So because of the whole core motor system thing, you can't do anything with it. There's nothing you can do about it. So even though I want to make it move, go forward or maybe do a pose, you just can't do that. So that was the biggest issue with Zoids, which later they basically, lost the whole, market at some point, and now they're making a comeback with this new lineup, and I am just really, really happy about it. So I just wanted to point out the box, and let's see what we got. Now, keep in mind, this is the Command Wolf, which is one of the, I would say, if you wanted to point out what's the most basic Zoid out there, it would be the Command Wolf. We've seen it a lot in various types and colors and armaments as well. This one is a special version that is used by a character named Irvine later, which he changes his Zoids into a lightning sights, but with a different twist story. But once again, let's get into the review. So once again, Irvine's Command Wolf, what is the main difference is A, the color, and B is the basic armaments here. So usually a Command Wolf would be seen without this giant cannon, only these two turrets here on the back. But Irvine uses these, and then this one was the main reason I actually pre-ordered this is because the extra equipment that comes with it. So you get these parts. So actually these are, now technically depending on how you build it, you're going to have leftover of these. So if you want to have not the long cannon, but if you want to just have the two turret thing, you have to use these parts, which don't look too different from the ones that this is used, but there is a difference because there is actually a different port that you have to use. Just wanted to point that out. Alright, so they give you this. Now, according to the manual, this is called a spread launcher. So the funny part is, or the good part is, that you do have options to cover up these holes, whether the launcher is closed up like this, or you can use these parts to make it look like it fires or is about to fire going on here. Now there was one specific episode where I forgot why Van wasn't available at the time, but basically he had to fight Raven's Saber Tiger at that point, and Irvine was available, and when he was about to go out and fight, he was given the spread launcher on his mouth to apply to his mouth as well. And these they look like missile launchers, but no, he would fire them, and these missiles would mostly go upwards and then rain down these spike things onto the ground really fast. So yeah, these were very cool weapons, and he was actually gaining the upper hand up to a certain point. So yeah, I was just surprised that they actually gave you these weapons. Now, keep in mind, these are just to be used in dioramas. These do not actually fire, and yeah, because obviously the technology, the way how this works, I have zero clue. But once again, it was a really cool reference, and I was very surprised to see that they actually added this weapon that was only used in one specific episode, or one or two, I think. So yeah. Alright, so before we go into articulation, obviously there's going to be a lot of questions, so I'm going to try to answer the questions. So just to compare it with a 1:144 scale HG Gunpla, obviously height-wise, because, well, it's an animal type, so you can't really this is not the proper way to do comparisons in size, but when you look at it in terms of lengths, they're roughly the same. Obviously, because of the tail, there's a bit difference, but yeah. But anyway, if you can build an HD Gunpla, you should be able to build this. Just wanted to point out. And then, for those who bought the previous ones, like the Blade Liger, keep in mind the Command Wolf is actually a much more smaller unit. So if you were expecting like the same size, you might need to reconsider that. So you can see there's a huge difference in bulk as well. But once again, I'm really hoping that since they made this, I'm really hoping, and they're able to make this. Now, I know technology-wise it's not going to be the same, but once again, I'm really hoping for a Lightning Sykes and the Bison in this lineup as well. Oops, wrong one. Alright, so now let's get into the articulation here. Now, I believe the standard Command Wolf has released before, and once again, I did not get that, so, yeah, I assume it should be the same. Just to, this is being a variant going on here. So once again, let's see what we got. So we have the head here. Obviously, you should be able to open the cockpit if my hands aren't too slippery. You should be able to open it. And, oops, sorry about that. Yeah, sometimes like opening these small stuff can be very tricky. But yeah, there is a cockpit. You should be able to open it and reveal the pilot figurine there. I know, like in terms of Gunpla, like HG stuff, it doesn't really apply. But once again, there we go. You should be able to open the cockpit and then reveal the pilot figurine there. I believe they also, now depending on the product, sometimes they would actually give you the standard one, but this one being a very specific unit, I think they only gave you Irvine for this one as well, because I could not find the regular version on mine unless I threw it away. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then because being a wolf, you can go up that much, down that much, and then it may not look like a lot, but there is a good amount of range going on here. And then you can go side to side as well. Now the reason why you can go side to side here is because you have like this neck extension here. It's a very odd, if you build Gunpla, this is a very odd like connection here, but it works for some reason. So you can like extend the neck, and then you can go more side to side a little bit more, and then push it in to lock it in place, or kind of. Now for the legs, because these are how should I say this? They are on standard pegs here, and you can see there is a gigantic polycap in there as well. So that means going 360 should be no problem, and then you can move side to side as well. Now, and then because there is another joint here, you can have a little bit of extra side to side wiggle on the front leg going on there as well. And the leg can go back that much, and then upwards, that's as far as it can go. And the front feet here is, let me just recheck here, so you can go up and down, and you do have a little bit of a pivot joint as well, so you do have a little bit of extra movement, so you can have a little bit more control on balancing the kit. Now, what I'm still struggling when it comes to like animal type mechs is always like balancing all four legs, because I always tend to have like maybe one leg is higher than the other, so I'm always getting this wiggle motion every time I touch it. I never like that, but once again, I'm trying to get used to it as well. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, yes, you can open the mouth as well. Alright, so, and then the body here, the main body, you do have a little bit of an ab crunch. I'm not sure if that's considered an ab crunch because considering the animal, but I'm not sure if a wolf can actually do that, but once again, who knows. So you can move up and down as well. There is no side to side wiggle movement, so don't try to do that or you might break something. And then let's look at the back turret here. This is, as far as I know, it's more, now it becomes a turret, and applying this now becomes more of a cannon style weapon as far as I know, even in the series. So it does have up and down movement, and because of the way how it's connected, you can go left and right about 180. 360 is a little bit tricky because you're kind of slightly forcing it because of the joint, so you're kind of rotating it forcefully, but you get the point. And I'm not sure if this was actually really seen in the anime or really shown well, but you can extend the cannon like that, although I'm not really sure how this would change in performance. Now, I'm not a weapon expert, so yeah, I mean, as far as I know, when it comes to real cannons, the longer the actual barrel gets, the range goes higher, if I understood it correctly. But yeah, it's there. And once again, this specific Command Wolf actually seen a lot of screen time in the series, so yeah, you can definitely tell it's not a cannon fodder type character. Alright, now looking at the back legs, now here we have all these, I forgot, I think these were like vent pipes if I remember correctly, but yeah, these are actually very close to the back legs, so sometimes if you're unlucky when you're moving the back legs, you might actually hit this and then this may fall off, so just be aware of that. Now, unlike the front legs, 360 is not going to be possible because it's all colliding and stuff. So this is as far as I can go. If I go more, I could technically go more, but it's already colliding with this part and it's gonna knock it off. And just to give you guys a clear understanding, every color you see, everything you see is part separated. Of course, this one is the silver here. It has already been pre-painted, so this is the way how it comes. So there's no stickers, there's no water slides you need to apply on these as well. So you can definitely tell it's maybe beginner friendly to some degree. So anyway, it's back to the articulation. So the leg can go back that much and then forward that much as well. And then the back feet here should also have similar articulation that goes up and down and a bit of a side-to-side twist, so you do get a pivot joint as well. And all these joint things here, now they're not rubber, they're more close to plastic, so, and they have a very tight connection in most of the cases. Now back in the old Zoid toys, these were actually very crucial. Like these would be the ones that would lock certain parts in places or basically connect the legs to the main body. These are mostly purely aesthetic at this point, so even though you lose some of these, it doesn't really affect, you know, the whole build, but once again, it's gonna leave a huge like peg mark as well. But compared to when you look at the old Zoids, like everything you see here, these ones, they all matter because they basically cover up joints, or they are the ones that basically connect everything as well, because without these will fall apart. So I just wanted to point that out. And back then they were all made out of rubber, so in the long run you're gonna have issues in the long run. So really glad they decided to go with plastic. Heck, even Bandai is really concerned about that, so they're always trying to find ways to not use polycaps on their kids. So yeah, I guess that is the right direction. Alright, so that we've seen the back leg here, and then finally we have the tail, which is obviously, it was using a polycap ball joint as well. Now, because I'm assuming Takara Tomy is still new to the whole model kit, you know, thing, so maybe they're still using polycaps and rubber, but I'm hoping in the future, eventually, they'll, you know, stop using them. Alright, so now we've seen the basics of the kit. Once again, it's Command Wolf, but in Irvine's version of / color. There's nothing too special about it. I mean, unless you really love the character as well. I bought this because, once again, I thought it was really interesting to see this weapon with to come with it, and then the hopes to, like a support, that hope we get to see lightning sights in the future as well. Alright, so the only thing left to do is show this thing here, and it's very simple. You just need to pop out, just basically disconnect the peg, and then reconnect this one here, and you have the launcher. So the launcher can also have a little bit of up and down movement like that, and then rotating 360 is possible. And then we get this part, which I found very interesting to connect. All you need to do is just basically open the mouth. It's not, you don't actually peg, as far as I understand, you don't peg it, you just make it bite on it like a bone. So I never thought this was like really possible, but yeah, it works. It just works. Of course, the downside is that you won't be able to close the valves fully, so that is one down aspect as well. And then finally we have the option to whether to make it look like it's closed, but once again, that's going to be a bit boring, so you get two of each these parts. So just to make it look interesting, let's make it look like it's opened up. But yeah, it's definitely, I was very impressed because the fact that they give you these options to make the missile launcher to make it look open or closed, which is because when you think about it, you don't really get to see those on the gunpla aspect as well. Now getting these, now come on, there we go. So yeah, it's a pretty cool feature because we don't really see these type of, you know, option parts in Gunpla. So it was a very new and fresh experience going on here, and the fact that since, well, you know, they're really fun to build, I'm really hoping to see more products in the future. And that is pretty much it for the review. So once again, if you know Zoids, you should know Command Wolf, and if you built Gunpla before, you should have zero problems in building this lineup as well. So obviously they're constantly making more new lineups. We've seen the Red Horn announcement. Yes, I pre-ordered the Iron Kong and Shield Liger as well. I'm just really hoping to see what's there in the future. The only downside I say is that these products, for their size, now once again, I don't have any doubts on the quality, but once again, when you compare the overall, like, similar, like the levels the price levels compared to Gunpla, this may feel a little bit more expensive on the side. But hopefully in the future, they'll improve that in the long run. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the RMZ line, or Realized Model Line, Command Wolf Irvine Special Version. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.